All right, bro. What did we watch this time?
We watched Mallrats.
Mallrats.
Who's that directed by again?
It's Kevin Smith, man.
Oh, no, I know. It was just more.
No, you're being sarcastic.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Mr. Smith.
Because I was going to say, wow, that sounded like a funny setup there. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit, yeah. I just kind of wanted to, see who it was directed by and see if you would fall for it. You kind of did.
Yeah.
You could have thrown it back at me, and
Nah,
I could have looked like an idiot and been like, John Kennedy, But no, you didn't throw it back. So, what would you like to talk about this movie, brother?
I don't know. What would you like to talk about?
I don't know, it's kind of your show. I mean...
Is it my show? Oh,
yeah, it's your show.
If it's my show, this thing's going to be a disaster and a half.
I'm just
all right.
Star.
No, we decided to review Mallrats because we're thinking about, those good old-fashioned films that basically are a time capsule of our youth in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much Mallrats.
Yeah.
That's thinking back to my, late teens, early 20s. I think that movie really encompasses exactly what my life was like about at that time. Chasing girls, heavily in the comic books, hanging out at the mall a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you
being
break
an
up with
idiot.
your girl, you head to the mall, have a good day.
Yeah, exactly. And as I said, being an idiot, making poor choices. Yeah, sounds about late teens, early 20s, and other people 30s and 40s.
My question.
Yeah.
The sailboat. Was there actually a sailboat in that image?
Yeah, dude, the sailboat was like one of those stupid a magic picture things where you stare at it and you see a picture. But some people can do it and some people can't. That was the joke.
But was that
the actual picture in the movie.
Actual picture, was there actually a sailboat in that picture?
I honestly don't know if there was actually a sailboat in that picture. But that was the whole joke of the movie. It was supposed to be one of those magic image things that it's all those dots or whatever. You stare at it and you eventually see a sailboat or a person or an animal or whatever it is. How some people can easily see it and other people are like, I can't see anything. That's exactly what the joke was about. How everybody could see the sailboat except for that one guy.
Yeah. He eventually saw it, though.
Yeah, according to the post-credit scene. Even he was surprised. He's like, really?
Really? Okay, favorite scene of the movie?
Oh, unlike not another teen movie, it doesn't actually stand out that strongly. Because with another teen movie, when he asked me that question, I was like, oh, obviously the musical number, that was right off the bat.
Yeah.
For this one, it would probably be the breakup scene towards the beginning of the film when Shannon Doherty, how do you say her name? Shannon Doherty? The chick from Beverly Hills 90210. When she wakes up, Jason, it's not Jason Mewes, Jason Lee's character, Brody, when he's sleeping in bed and she wakes him up and then he immediately goes back to playing his Sega Genesis hockey game and then she breaks up with him. I think that's probably my favorite scene.
Yeah. Why is that?
I don't know, I just find it funny. It's exactly what an idiot in his late teens, early 20s would be concerned about. It'd be like, oh no, my girl's here, she needs attention, but I need to finish my video game.
Yeah, I'd rather do my own thing. It's like maybe...
Oh no, I'm so self-absorbed, my girlfriend left me. Who didn't see that coming?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's exactly. It is wonderful.
Maybe just make her that breakfast, Spend some time with her. It might be difficult. It might not be what you're wanting to do.
Even if you're a lazy idiot, just take her out to McDonald's or something.
Really? You could have. Let's see. For me...
Is there a Burger King across the street there, Brody? Just take your girl out. Yeah, sorry, your favorite scene for you, bro?
Yeah. Again, same thing. It doesn't really stand out. But, I guess the scene that maybe stands out the most, I don't want to say it's my favorite scene, but it's definitely the one I think about the most, is the hand up the butt pretzel thing. Where, they drag it on, and it's it seems so out of character for him, but then it comes around, Michael Rooker's character.
Michael Rooker. I thought you meant
he's like, yeah, no, I'll totally eat that. Let's be the best of friends, even though you're the friend of the guy I hate right now who's dating my daughter, or was dating my daughter. And then it comes around, you find out why he's being so nice, because he's about to have them removed from the mall and whatnot. So it kind of makes sense, but at first you're like, what?
Why I know. It was just we need your character to be out of character for the scene to happen to set this up for later.
Yeah.
It's and that scene too. It just makes me. It does still kind of gross me out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when they do the close up of me actually eating the pretzels. I'm like, oh no, just no. I'm like, but yeah, that was totally. We have to do the scene, so your character is going to act out of character for the scene, just so you eat those tainted pretzels, just so you get sick later, so we can have the plot, keep moving forward. Even though logically this doesn't make any sense for you to be doing this at all. And it's like, wait a minute, the friend of the guy who's trying to date my daughter, who I hate, is offering me something. Maybe I should question this. Maybe I shouldn't take it. No, you know what? I'm just gonna eat it
because I got to keep him here for a few seconds longer because I'm gonna have him arrested and kicked out of the mall.
Yeah, I know.
It's like just, you could have still not.
No, I know. It was dumb. It was absolutely dumb.
Yeah, I mean, like. It's a great movie. I love it. Like it's definitely, you can sit down, you can watch a whole movie, you can have a couple laughs. It's got some good moments, some good plots.
Yeah, I'm gonna say overall, I really enjoyed it. It's honestly my favorite Kevin Smith film. If you go back and look over the course of a lot of the Kevin Smith films, it is my favorite. I recently watched Clerks not that long ago, and I actually have to say, even though Clerks is his most well-known film, and it's the film that got him on the map. Technically speaking, and from a creative standpoint, Clerks is actually his worst film if you compare it to every other thing he's made since. When you look at it, it's like, oh, this is the film from like a first-time director. This is like the first thing he's put out. And it's a great first effort, and it's what got him on the map. But if you look at it compared to everything he's done since, he's done far better films than Clerks. It took me actually, I'm going to say this, I enjoyed Clerks 2 better than Clerks, the first Clerks.
Really? Not a lot of people say that.
I know. It's just because Clerks 2 is in the same vein as Mallrats. Okay. It's the kind of same flavor, same kind of film, and I think I enjoy that more. Whereas I feel like the first Clerks kind of was more like in the day of a life of a bunch of idiots from New Jersey, and that was just the general point of that film, which is fine. But I felt like whereas like Mallrats and Clerks 2 tried to have actually more of a story, it was a little bit more in depth with the characters, a little bit more character development, and as I said, like Mallrats and Clerks 2 had a very similar kind of flavor, feel, and tone. Whereas, Clerks felt like a very low budget first time independent film. And it has its own thing going for it, and it's fine on its own, but in comparison to a lot of other stuff he's done over the years, it's probably one of the weaker films he's done. And I think I enjoy Mallrats and Clerks 2 better than something like Chasing Amy, because I felt like Chasing Amy was like, okay, I've done that, the first time get my foot in the door independent film, and then I did Mallrats. Now I want to do something, darker and more adult, and aren't I cool, and look what I can do, daddy kind of film. And it's like, it just didn't really stick with me. The only thing I got from Chasing Amy, which I really liked, was the interaction between Ben Affleck and Jason Lee. Like, they had really good chemistry together in that film, and it kind of honestly makes me think back to Mallrats and if Ben Affleck actually should have been playing the Quinn character instead of Shannon, because he played the mall jerk. I feel like he would have been better suited for the Quint character, and he and Jason Lee would have played off far better than Jason Lee and Jeremy London did.
Right.
But that being said, Jeremy London wasn't horrible. I just feel like, Ben Affleck was cast in the wrong role in that movie. I feel like
he portrayed it well.
He did. Oh yeah, he played that jerk well. He did, and it was believable, and it was very similar to a lot of roles Ben Affleck was doing at the time. But I feel like Ben Affleck should have definitely been in that Quint role, or whatever his name was, Jeremy London's character, and they should have got someone more iconic for the play the jerky jockey character. Because as I said with Chasing Amy, when they had, it's basically what it was. It was almost like those two characters again, but it wasn't the same two characters, obviously, because this is a different film. But it almost felt like, Jason, Quint and what was his name? What was Jason Lee's character again? I just said it like 10 seconds ago.
Brody?
Brody, that was
There you
it.
go. Yeah.
It felt like Quint and Brody older and grown up, like after, whereas in Mallrats, like it felt like their characters were in like early college, like high school, and with Chasing Amy, it felt like those characters a couple years after graduating college. You know what I mean? When they're older and more experienced, and it felt like he just basically took those same two character archetypes and just gave them different names.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, like, you saw the interaction between Ben Affleck and Jason Lee, and I felt like, okay, that would have been a better dynamic from Mallrats. And that's the thing I enjoyed most from Chasing Amy was just their interaction and their chemistry. And anytime they were on screen together, Chasing Amy wasn't a bad film. It was just more or less, oh, look, I can try and make an adult film. And I was like, yeah, it kind of worked. And then his next film after that, I believe, was Dogma. Which was
Dogma's probably the one I'm thinking of. I was going to ask, which one was Ben Affleck and Angel in? Dogma?
That was Dogma.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if I've seen Chasing Amy, but I've definitely seen.
I don't know. Dogma was like, okay, so I've done my first film. I've done my second film, which is basically like a showcase to my childhood or teenage years. And then I did Chasing Amy, which is, me trying to do more of an adult film. Now I'm just going to say I don't care and just do, a bat guano crazy kind of film where anything goes and I can do anything because right now, I'm on top and my career's on a high, and I don't think Dogma was the the film he thought it was going to be. From what I remember, it had very mixed reviews. I might be wrong on this, but I don't think it did well at the box office. I don't think it was a flop. I don't think it was a huge hit either. Because he followed that up with Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which was
good.
Which was a far better film than either
that movie
Chasing Amy or Dogma. Even though, like, it like when you look at them, like Jay and Silent Bob should have been like in retrospect, it should be considered an awful film. But in comparison, like to Chasing Amy and Dogma, it's just a far more enjoyable film.
Yeah,
because Chasing Amy and Dogma actually have stronger plots, better story beats, and a better all over film structure. But what makes Jay and Silent Bob better is it's just a more enjoyable film.
Yeah,
you can sit there and enjoy it. Whereas in Chasing Amy, I remember when I first saw it years ago, I saw it in the theater, so I saw it like in one sitting. But anytime I go to watch Chasing Amy nowadays, I have to watch it I have to break it up. I have to watch it in like 2 or 3 parts. I can't just watch it in one sitting anymore, because after a while I just get too depressed or too bored, and I'm like, okay, I need a break. And then with Dogma, it's not Batman and Robin bad, but I do need to take. I get about halfway through, and then I just need to stop, and then I pick it up a week or 2 later, and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't finish that, didn't I? And you go back, it's like, yeah, there's a reason why I don't watch this film that often. But then he followed up with Jay and Silent Bob. As I said, which was just a far more enjoyable movie, and it definitely followed up on some stuff, like some plot points that were brought up in Mallrats, and even revisited some characters like Chasing Amy, I think even Dogma, and then of course a tip of the hat to a character from Clerks again. It was almost like with Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, it's like, all right, this is my greatest hits. I'm kind of ending the universe of films I've created with this one. And he did. He tried to go off and do a few different films over the years. So I think I might be wrong, but I'm fairly certain he followed that film up with Jersey Girl, which is one of the worst films he's made.
Okay, fair. I might be a sappy person, but I actually kind of like that one.
It wasn't horrible, but like I put Jersey Girl in the same category with like Chasing Amy and Dogma. It's one of his films he's made that I don't really need to go back and watch.
Well, no, yeah, I mean, I've personally only probably seen it a couple times, but it was because of what it was.
But I will say this, I can actually sit through, even though I don't think Jersey Girl's a really good movie, I can actually sit through it a lot better than I could sit through what was it called? Chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy.
Yeah, like I can actually sit through Jersey Girl in one sitting, whereas like Chasing Amy and Dogma, I have to like watch in parts. I can't. I have to break it up. I can't watch it in one sitting. But yeah, definitely Jersey Girl. I can at least watch it in one sitting. I'll give it that.
Yeah, and he made it for his daughter, so that way it was something she could watch that he made that wasn't.
That wasn't
normal.
That wasn't outrageous like the stuff he's made before.
Yeah,
which I'll give him that. It's one film his daughter can see.
Yeah,
but then that one didn't do so well, and the reviews on it were just horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So that tanked. What did he do after Jersey? I think his next film was Zach and Miri make a porno.
Zach and Miri make a porno.
Yeah, which I enjoyed. It felt like he was getting back to his A game, but it also felt like it was Kevin Smith trying to make a Judd Apatow film, and he should have just let it just be a full Kevin Smith film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it kind of felt like, okay, knocked up, 40-year-old virgin or 30-year-old virgin, whatever it was.
40, I think.
40, yeah. So it's basically, he's like, okay, these are Judd Apatow type movies. I can make a Judd Apatow type movie. And he did. And it wasn't bad. That's what I mean. Like, it was Kevin Smith trying to get back to his A game. But it felt like Kevin Smith trying to be Judd Apatow instead of Kevin Smith just being Kevin Smith. That was my only complaint about that movie. Although I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed that film. And then he sadly... he took a break for a bit, I think, after that. Because I felt... No, wait. What was that? Cop Out. That was it. That was the film that broke him. So he did a film with Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan.
Okay.
Called Cop Out.
I don't know if I've seen that.
It's like one of the only films he's directed he's never written. He directed somebody else's script. So yeah, he made that film, and that film just broke him. Like he didn't enjoy his experience on the film. He didn't enjoy his experience working with Bruce Willis. It was bad all around. Of course, Cop Out came out. It was a huge bomb. Everybody hated it on top of it. So like he was broke from the experience, from the aftermath, and that was the film that he did. That he then took a bit of a break after, and then I can't remember if this is the proper order, but I think his next film was Tusk, which is
was Tusk the one I'm thinking of?
Where the crazy guy turns Jason Long into a walrus.
Oh man. Yeah, no, that was just such a eerie movie.
That was like Kevin Smith, like, hey, I can make a horror movie. I'm like, no, you can't.
Yes, he can. I'm sorry, that movie is really creepy.
Oh no! He can make a horror film. He just can't make a horror film. It was creepy, but it was bad.
Oh, I mean, sure.
Yeah,
because the guy got turned into a walrus, but you gotta think.
After a while, I'm like,
imagine
where
that
Tusk
happening.
You know where Tusk would have been successsul? As a short segment in an anthology film.
Yes.
Tusk's problem was trying to make like a 30-minute short film into an hour and a half movie.
Fair, yeah. It definitely kind of dragged
if he condensed Tusk and it was just like a segment in an anthology horror film, it would have been fine.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. My complaint. That's the same thing with Yoga Hosers, which was his other attempt at trying to do a horror film. But unlike with Tusk, he realized I'm just going to be silly and get really high and make a crazy movie, and that's Yoga Hosers. Like, Yoga Hosers is bad, but it's enjoyable bad.
I haven't seen that one.
But Yoga Hosers suffers from the same problem as Tusk, whereas it would have been better as a short film and an anthology horror film. Like, both of those movies have that problem. But then, he did a movie called Red State, which I absolutely love. Because I think it's I honestly think as a director, it's his best film. Although it's not my favorite Kevin Smith film, I will say, but I do enjoy it quite a bit. But I will say, as a director, it's probably the best film he's ever directed.
Okay.
Basically, the plot.
How have I not seen all these movies?
I don't know. He's made a few of theirs. Red State is basically the plot of these three horny kids want to get laid.
Naturally, yeah.
So they answer some kind of stupid ad or something, and they basically end up getting kidnapped by this church cult.
Oh, okay.
And then the FBI shows up, or CIA or something to take the cult out. And then they basically get the message to shoot to kill. Like, shoot to kill anybody in sight.
Just anyone.
Yeah, pretty much, because it gets out of hand, and I think there's a bit of a standoff, and they get the call to everybody, and there's a hostel, so they just go around shooting everybody, including the victims.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
This is Red State?
this is Red State.
Okay.
Yeah, it's basically like a lot of tropes you would see in like a lot of classic 80s movies, like,
Okay.
you know, like basically the plot is like three guys trying to get laid,
Mhm.
and everything just goes wrong.
Yeah, I would say so.
It's like everything just goes wrong, and it's, in a sense, it is a horror movie, kind of, but it's more of a suspense thriller more.
Yeah, fair.
But it's but that one was actually good. Like,
fair.
it felt like he had to do like Tusk and Yoga Hosers to be able to get the Red State. It was like two failures and a success.
Okay, yeah.
But it was amazing. And as I said, as a director, I think it's like one of the best films he's directed.
Didn't Clerks 2 come out before some of those?
Oh crap! Yeah, Clerks 2 did come out before
Yeah.
all that. Clerks 2 came out before Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Oh, okay.
I think Clerks.
Really?
Yeah, I think Clerks 2 was him trying to get back on track to the type of films he normally makes.
Yeah.
And then everything kind of just went off to the wayside after that. And as I said, yeah, I totally forgot Clerks 2. Yeah, one of my probably my second favorite Kevin Smith film. And then then there was, what was it? Zack and Miri Make a Porno and Cop Out. I think I can't remember the order they came in. But then and then he took a break. Then he came back with like Tusk, Yoga Hosers, and Red State.
Now, Yoga Hosers, was that
That was the one where it was his daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter as the two lead characters.
kind of like Clerks, but like...
I don't know, they took on like weird like sausage demon alien creatures. I can't remember. The plot escapes me. It's a really dumb movie and it's bad, but it's enjoyable. I once read a review stating the only way to watch this movie is high. Don't watch it sober. And I'm like, after watching it sober, I'm like, I understand the point of that review. It's just it's bad, but I can understand how if somebody was inebriated or high in some kind of substance that...
Can we test that theory?
No. You can on your own, but no.
No, you don't want to watch that movie again?
No, I am more than good.
Okay.
You can do whatever you need to do to get yourself into a certain mental state and then watch that film. But I am more than good to never see that film ever again. Ever again.
Okay.
Yeah, and that goes for Tusk too. Like,
They're making a Tusk 2? Oh, you mean Tusk as well?
yeah, like Tusk and Yoga Hosers are two films I've seen I don't need to see again. And I kind of put, Chasing Amy, Takma, and Jersey Girl kind of in that same category. Although with Chasing Amy and Dogma and Jersey Girl, there's more to revisit there. So I'm like, I don't really need to see those films again. But if I do see them again, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But I will not watch Tusk ever again, or Yoko Hosers.
Yeah, I don't think I'll watch Tusk again.
Red State, I would definitely watch Red State again. As I said, it's probably the best film he's ever directed as a director, and it's one of my favorite Kevin Smith films. But not definitely not number 1 or 2. And then I think he didn't make anything again until Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Wait, what?
And not Strike Back, I mean Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I apologize.
Oh, they made another Jay and Silent Bob movie?
Oh, you serious? You didn't know that?
No!
Yeah. No, he a few years back, it was basically like he got the old gang back together to make another classic Kevin Smith film, and yeah, it was actually decent.
Okay. Can we do a review on that one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Let's definitely do. We can do one on Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back too. And it's like it's the Jay and Silent Bob reboot is a direct sequel to the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and it's basically them making fun of like how everything needs to reboot nowadays. And
Okay.
it's like, because they hear they're making a new Jay and Silent Bob film. And Jay and Silent Bob are like, oh, this is a sequel to the one they made before about us? And like, no, it's a reboot. And then Jay is like, what the hell's a reboot? and then Brody from Mallrats has to explain what a reboot is to him, and it's just pretty good.
Like, it's actually the Brody character?
Yeah, it's the Brody character.
Oh, okay.
Jason Lee plays two characters. He plays the character he played in Mallrats, which is Brody, and whoever the character he played in Chasing Amy. So he plays both characters. Ben Affleck shows up in this as the character he played from Chasing Amy. Who he also had appeared in as in the first Jay and Silent Bob film.
Oh, okay.
So Ben Affleck appeared in both Jay and Silent Bob films, reprising the role he played in Chasing Amy. And Jason Lee is in the new one, plays both the characters he played in Mallrats and Chasing Amy. I want to say Matt Damon in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot is reprising the character he played in Dogma. I want to say he's reprising that angel role he played. It's very brief, his scene in it, but I want to say that's the character he's playing. And Jason Long is reprising the character he played in Zack and Mary Make a Porno.
Jason Long.
He's the one that got turned into a walrus and Tusk.
Oh, yeah, right.
And he was in Zack and Mary Make a Porno.
Who was he in that?
I can't remember his character. I think he was a stereotypical gay character in that film. I can't remember.
Maybe?
But yeah, he shows up in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot as their over-the-top lawyer. But it's supposed to be the same character as far as I understand.
Got a job. Yeah, good for him.
Just a lot of cameos and bit parts. And Joey Laurie Adams, or whatever her name is, Amy from Chasing Amy, shows up as Amy in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot too. They basically, he brought everybody back reprising like the iconic roles they played in his films.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jason Lee ends up playing two characters. He's like, yeah, let's pretend like these guys don't look anything alike. Thankfully, they don't share any screen time. But yeah, it's actually turned into more of a Kevin Smith retrospective.
Yeah, than just a Mallrats film. But I guess back on track. What's your least favorite part from the movie?
My least favorite part in the movie?
From Mallrats, yeah.
That's a good question. I don't think I really actually disliked anything from this film. Because I was going to say, between this film, there's actually a director's cut to this film.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, okay. So in the mid-2000s, Kevin Smith did a director's cut of this film. Mainly because I think it was around the 10th anniversary of the film, so he convinced Universal, who distributed the film, to let him do a director's cut. Mm-hmm. He admits it was one of the worst mistakes he's ever made in his life. Okay. Because he and his pet editor, I forget his name, the guy he normally goes to that edit his films, didn't actually edit Mallrats. Okay. Universal didn't trust him enough because this was his second film and his first real major film with the studio. So they hired a professional editor to edit the film. And that was his only regret, that he's never edited this film. So that's why he convinced Universal around the 10th anniversary of the film to let him do a director's cut with him and his pet editor, who he normally uses. So when they got into the weeds of actually making the director's cut, they realized that the theatrical version was truly the only version that could actually be made, because they didn't really shoot a lot of material. There was some stuff on the cutting room floor, but as Kevin Smith stated, that stuff needed to belong on the cutting room floor. It did not belong in the film. So he says the superior version of the film is indeed the theatrical cut, and the best version. It's the best version of Mallrats. But why he still did the director's cut is because they were so far into it that they couldn't turn back and say to the Universal, "No, we made a mistake. we shouldn't have taken this endeavor because Universal spent like a lot of money remastering the footage and all this jazz.
Oh yeah.
So they were stuck. So they just made the best director's cut they could with the additional footage, plus all the footage they wanted to use from the actual theatrical cut. But he admits it's like the director's cut is an inferior version of the film. And I would say, like, I can't remember a lot of stuff off the top of my head, but if you're talking about like least favorite scenes, it's probably some of the new additional material they put into the director's cut, which I just feel like is inferior compared to like what was in the theatrical cut. And there's a reason why it didn't make it to the theatrical cut, and why Kevin Smith regretted going back to make the director's cut. Nice. So yeah, I would say probably a lot of the newer material that was introduced in the director's cut is probably my least favorite, because the director's cut is just a much tighter, better constructed film.
Right.
I mean, theatrical cut. I mean, yeah.
I would honestly say, and is it Jason Lee's? Is Jason Lee?
Yeah, Jason Lee plays Brody.
Yeah. His character, like his most, I guess, irritated part of the film, where it was the mother with her kid tugging at her pant legs, sitting on the escalator. Pay attention to your child.
Oh, that's your favorite scene? Yeah.
No, least favorite.
Oh, that's your least favorite scene?
Least favorite, not because I didn't appreciate the scene, because the mother was not paying attention to her kid, which was right there.
I love that scene for the...
And then later they mentioned that there was an accident on the treadmill, and who do you think it was? It was that mother who just didn't give a crap about her kid.
But that's why I love the scene so much, because it's so accurate to a lot of modern day millennial parenting.
I like the scene. I don't like that. That's a thing.
But I agree. Like, I think it sucks that that's a thing, but that's a thing. And that was a thing that was happening back in that day.
Yeah.
Where parents just weren't paying attention to their kids, especially on escalators. But nowadays, especially, as I said, with a lot of modern day millennial parents, it's even far worse about, keeping track of what your kid's doing and actually being a parent. Yeah. Like, it's just so neglectful. Like,
absolutely.
That's why, because I felt like, although I get from where you're coming from, I understand that point of view, but why I loved it, because it was honest. It was it was calling incompetent parents out on being incompetent parents.
Oh yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, there's not really, again, it's not really like I dislike the scene. I just dislike the fact that that's a thing.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I agree with you completely on that fact.
And it's like, I walk on an escalator, and even to this day, when it gets to the bottom or the top, I am paying attention to make sure I'm stepping off.
Yes, you're paying I
don't want my shoelace to get caught up in there and lose a leg. Like, that's just a series of gears. Like, you got to take that stuff seriously. I mean, would you go on a roller coaster ride that goes up and down without a belt on?
Yeah,
no, you would make sure you're secured in.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100% for sure. I agree. Yeah, it's like I'm not as fearful as escalators.
Take care of your kids, please.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not as fearful as escalators as you, but yeah, that scene in a nutshell.
Oh, I'll still use them. They're convenient and easy, but during like the middle part, I'm just totally fine. But when it gets to the beginning or the end, it's like, and step properly, and you're good. You're safe.
Yeah.
Okay, we're nearing the end. Oh no, it's coming. Okay, we got off fine. Oh. All right, next. Where are we going?
So yeah, I think that pretty much sums up what I like about the film overall.
Yeah.
As I said, I think this turned into more of a retrospective of Kevin Smith and fully 100% of Mallrats.
Yeah.
But I recommend anybody watch Mallrats.
Yes, if you haven't seen it, please do go watch.
Because I like a lot of people who don't like Kevin Smith films in general actually still enjoy Mallrats. So if you enjoy Kevin Smith films and you've never seen Mallrats, I recommend you checking out Mallrats. Even if you don't like Kevin Smith films, I still recommend you at least watching Mallrats. Skip the rest, but at least watch Mallrats. And anybody else, just try it. Try it for the heck of it.
You never know.
You never know. It's not a spoof comedy like not another teen movie, but it's a good comedy.
Yeah.
I recommend people checking this out. This is definitely a high recommend for me. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on that at this point. You got anything else to say?
No, I think that pretty much sums it up. Just check it out and give it a shot.
Yeah, and
Never
then
know. You might like it.
leave a message down in the comments what you thought about it after you watched it.
Yeah.
I think
Like
this.
your
If
opinion.
I think I saw a question, somebody asking me about where can you find these movies. Someone asked me a question the other day about another teen movie. Yeah, I think somebody else may have answered them on this question. Not another teen movie. I don't think you can get on Blu-ray or DVD anymore. But you can definitely buy or rent it off of Apple Video or Google Play. So those are the ways you can get it legally. I'm not going to give you any suggestions how to obtain the film otherwise, but you do you. But yeah, if you're looking to legally purchase or rent this film, you can find it on Apple Video or Google Play. For Mallrats, though, we watched the 25th anniversary Blu-ray collection from Arrow Video. I recommend if anybody's interested in purchasing it, that's the version to go with. They did a nice new transfer of the film. So you can definitely get this on collector's Blu-ray, standard Blu-ray. You can rent or buy this off of many digital stores like Apple and Google and Microsoft. Mallrats is far readily available. So those are places you can look for this film. On that note, like, subscribe, and all that jazz. And until next time, guys, have a good one.
Thanks for watching.